What is going on, guys? Jason here, or Better Body 90. Today's video is something that I set up last week, and it's something that I want to bring to you. It's not exactly what I wanted to bring, but so let's just jump into this. This will be kind of a brief summary of the more detailed video that I want to put together for you. I was planning to have it up today, but there's just more that I want to do with it. There's more information I want to put into it, and there's more of a structure I want to design. I want it to be a good video, okay? I don't want it to be just a simple vlog. I want it to be something that is something that gives you information that you can use in your own life, and maybe, perhaps, what worked for me could potentially work for you, even with maybe just some modifications so it fits you. But could you have a better body in 90 days? Well, that's what I went out of my way to really, it's not out of my way, it's actually part of my business, it's part of who I am, but for many years, I just kind of stopped doing it. And I've had some friends recently, I've been showing my results, and I have results that I've never had before in my life. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that in this video. We'll share more about it in the video I'm talking about, the one that's coming later this week. But basically, for those of you that have seen me for a long time, I used to be a creator on YouTube, but that was like 10 years ago. So what I like to say is where I am today took me 10 years to get started, which I started on April 15th of this year. I finally got going with what I'm doing, what I'm gonna show you, what we're gonna talk about as this channel progresses and revives and gets going, and I bring you a whole new energy. But it took me 10 years to get started and 90 days to get to where I am now. And here's the thing, is all the stuff, and you're gonna see, I'm gonna share it with you. I don't think it's overly complicated what I've done. It's, of course, obviously that's subjective. And like I said, I have 10 years of just up and down, start and stop, struggle, and just trying to figure it out. However, one thing, I knew how to do this, I just never did it. And I would always focus on the fitness, but I would never focus on the nutrition as much as I am now. At this point, if you were to ask me, now I don't suggest this, but if you were to ask me if this is a binary situation, right? There is no other answer. There's yes or no, or on or off. If you had to choose in a day, skipping your workout or skipping your planned meals, I would say throw that workout out and focus on the meals, and always work on the nutrition. If you can't get the fitness in, you should, but no big deal, okay? No big deal. There's more to that. Don't be like, okay, well, Jason said don't do a workout, I'm never gonna work out again. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, for me, in this journey, the nutrition focus has been a complete game changer. And that's what I wanna break down. I've got my food journal. I've got the way I track my macros, super simple in 2019. Oh my God, you don't have to calculate anything. Back in the day, I remember trying to calculate stuff. You don't have to calculate anything, okay? There's apps for that. MyFitnessPal, boom, done. You just put it in. You have to do the tracking, and even more so, let me just back this up, me, when I went into this, I had to do the tracking, and I had to do the shopping, and I had to do the meal prep, but I have set up a meal prep system for me, but in my opinion, I think it could fit a lot of people. My subjective situation, I'm single, I'm by myself, so it's easier per se, not the habit, but the process of planning my meals, because I only have to think about myself. It might be harder. It would absolutely be harder if you have children, or if you have other people that are dependent upon you, or dietary special needs, or like certain things that you have to make fit. But could you do it? Absolutely. Of course you can. So, I have results. That's the thing. I wanted to go to work. I didn't say a whole lot of doing this particular process because I looked at my YouTube channel, and of course YouTube's changed so much. There's so many things that I have to figure out how to do today, as far as like making videos and putting them out there and getting some traction so I can actually get some views on them. But I looked at some of my old content, and some of it I enjoy, and some of it I'm just like, I don't disagree with myself. I've changed, and I've grown, I've evolved, but I think, looking through some of my old content, I always had the same philosophy. That hasn't changed. What has changed is the actionable steps that I'm taking. And of course, some things I have learned, some things I've figured out, and some stuff I can share with you, some ways that I've been able to modify my nutrition, my fitness, all these things that make sense, that fit, that reduce risk, that make for better results, all these things. Now, the caveat here is right now where I am at, I am just a little, I'm about 100 days in at this point. I didn't look at the calendar before stuff, but I'm about 100 days in right now in the results that I'm doing with the meal planning, the fitness, all this stuff I'm gonna break down. This is why I wanted to spend more time in the other video. So I'm gonna digress from this. That I'm gonna cover in a more detailed video, and you can kind of see what I did and all that, and see if maybe, just maybe, you're ready to go for the next 90 days to get your better body. So that's always been my thing, because I started back in the day with P90X, and that's why I did Better Body 90, because I was gonna do P90X for 90 days, and I was gonna get a better body. I did, and then some of you that followed me back then, you know, you saw my evolution, my story, and building Beachbody and all that stuff. But other things happened. I stopped doing stuff. I got lazy, kind of went into semi-retirement, all that stuff, just pulled into myself, and I just stopped doing things. And then part of me, I stopped doing stuff, so then I felt like I was not following through. I was not leading by example, so I can't exactly make these videos if I'm not leading by example. So I went to work the last 90 days-ish, roughly at this point that I'm standing in front of you. I got results. I'm still moving forward. Listen, I'm not a jacked guy. The goal, the specific laser-focused goal that I had this time around was maximizing fat loss, body fat reduction, while maintaining as much as possible any lean muscle mass that I was starting with. Not necessarily gaining, but focusing on proper, having a decent amount of protein. And for me, a decent amount. I started at 158 pounds, I'm 144-ish now, and a decent amount of protein from what I understand watching videos and different things like that, and things I know in the past and all that. You know, usually they say 1 gram per, or there's a range. There is no specific answer, okay? But what I'm focusing on is about 130 to 150 grams of protein. So that's a little less than and up to about 1 gram per pound that I weigh. So that's what I've been focusing on. So to maintain and I'm not gonna get into the sciencey stuff because I can't, this is stuff I picked up from people that I respect and people that have valuable information on their channels and things that I will mention later on, people that I think anybody should watch, because I either got motivation from it, I got great information from it, I figured out how to improve my fitness, my nutrition, whatever, from a series of different channels out there, which is fantastic, and also inspired me to get back in the bandwagon and start creating videos, because it could be a simple video that starts someone on a path that changes things forever. You know, it's funny for me because I was thinking back, where did I really get my initial motivation to get started with fitness? Because when I was pre-pubescent, before, you know, pre-14-ish, I was really overweight. I was into the obese range. I remember shopping for jeans in the husky section. Okay, so I dealt with that stuff, and then I dealt with eating disorder afterwards. There's a whole, I could get really deep into a lot of stuff as far as Jason and who I am, but this is right now about Better Body 90 and about you and about me and about us moving forward at this point. So I'll talk more about my past and the future and share how I got where I am. But the thing that I found interesting though is, like, where did I really get started with fitness? And that was, you know, I was doing things on my own, but the thing that first inspired, the other person that first inspired me, was not a direct inspiration, and this was back in the, I want to say the 90s or early 2000s, I can't remember when it came out, the first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, that particular series. There was an article, I don't remember if it was Men's Health or Men's Journal, or I don't remember what article specifically, but there was a magazine and it had an article. It was a fitness related magazine. I ordered a bunch of magazines when I was a teenager. I had this whole subscription thing. So anyway, it was an article of how Tobey Maguire went through his transformation and got ripped. Like, for me, back in the day when I saw, I mean, I'm sure some of that was cinematic stuff, but I know he also went through a physical transformation. When I first saw that transformation in the movie, from like that scrawny skinny, which is where I was at that point, to muscle and jacked and ripped, that I wanted that. So I wanted to be that. I wanted to achieve that with my body. And you know, that's kind of what the catalyst was for me. So I hope in the future, if I put videos out, that it can be a catalyst for somebody out there. I'm gonna keep doing this because I feel so good. And that's the thing that matters the most about this whole process, is I have some great aesthetic results so far that are continuing to go, but the way I feel is literally night and day. My strength is night and day. I'm focused on my training right now is mostly eccentric movement, so a little bit of cheating, a tiny bit of momentum, I don't mind. I try not to do that, but what I care about is slow, controlled, eccentric movement. So that's where I'm working right now. And that's the cool thing. I have so much room for improvement. I have so much further to go as far as adding more size, more lean mass. I'm not trying to get huge bulked. I want to stay ripped. The idea is to be ripped, shredded, because I never have been there before. I'm going for more of like an athletic look, like just an overall athletic physique, and more of a calisthenic, but I'm doing a push-pull, mostly push-pull routine with cardio fit in and core fit in and all this stuff. Again, I will break all this down. I will share with you what I'm doing. I'm doing some of my own training with weights, which I said is basically just a push-pull leg routine. So push-pull legs, push-pull yoga is how I do it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like if that makes any sense. And that's what I'm doing, but I do still include the Beachbody workouts too. Like in this process, in 90 days, I did 30 days of Asylum 2, just the normal schedule, because I wanted to throw in speed, agility. I wanted to throw in explosive movements, a lot of different variety, and I got results from it. And I also threw in 1 week at one point of Asylum 1, and I've thrown in 1 week during recovery week of P90X 3. So I still fit in the Beachbody workouts. They still fit into my life. What matters the most, what is most important for me and what's happened for me, is my focus on the nutrition and tracking, and honest tracking. Because at the end of the day, you can lie about the tracking, not put it down, not share it with your audience or whatever. You're only lying to yourself. It doesn't affect anybody else. So I'm gonna end this video. I just wanna show you just a teaser of, and I'll do before afters. I'll show you, it's not gonna be like insanely explosive, but I definitely have, I am surprised literally every day when I wake up and I see myself in the mirror. Coming from before, I had the love handles and that excessive body fat, and I had fat in my legs that was just burying my muscle. That for some reason, ever since I was a kid, that's where I put on the fat when I was obese, and then it just kind of always more or less stayed, or I never lost enough body fat, even in my times I got skinnier, to really, I don't know, that's whatever. We're not gonna talk about that stuff because that could be genetics. There's so many variables. Fat loss is very dynamic. You can't spot reduce. You can't do any of this stuff. Your body's gonna do what it's gonna do. But my body's gotten shredded, and it's fantastic because I feel great and I really enjoy the food that I eat. I love the food, and it's fantastic. And the thing is, even my food, I'm eating really good, but the quality of what I'm getting and the quality of how I'm preparing it could be better. It could improve. And that's what gets me so excited, because I have the results I have right now. I feel the way I feel right now, doing it the way I'm doing it, but I could make it so much better. So therefore, logically, you never know, but logically, the way this falls in my head is, if I have so much room for improvement and I've gotten where I've gotten doing what I'm doing and it's working as it's working, if I improve it, so too shall my results improve. So we'll see. Sometimes your body can do weird things, life can do weird things at you. Let me show you just real quick where I'm at. I'll show you my core. Get the lav mic out of here. But I've built the V. I'm starting to see veins pop up I didn't even know I had. Like my chest, I had fat that was my chest was kind of puffy. It was down to here, and the fat has been lost. So now, now my chest is it's just the muscle, and I'm starting to get more of the striations in here. I'm not jacked by any means, all right? I've got a lot of muscle growth that I can add, but I'm very lean. So that's it, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by. You know what to do if you enjoyed the content, and you know what to do if you didn't. So Jason here, betterbody90.com. I will be bringing you a better video, a more detailed video, a step-by-step video in this coming week as we move forward. So I'm excited to be back on this platform, back making videos, and I hope that maybe they can help somebody out there. So until next time, keep doing what it takes, and I'll see you then.